February 2nd, 2011 was an unusually calm day on the Bowman farm in Virginia's Shenandoah Valley. That changed soon after 6-year-old Reagan got home from school. Like most days, she had gone out to play in the loft of a storage shed.
Every day she went out there and played with cats, and she fell and hit her head on the concrete and crawled herself out.
My son found her in the driveway, and then he picked her up and carried her to my husband.
Her parents, Daryl and Tara, saw no signs of serious injury.
She was crying, but she would not say anything. And she wasn't bleeding. There was nothing to indicate she was really hurt.
To be safe, they called 911. They were stunned when the rescue squad told them she needed to be taken to a local hospital and then medevaced to the University of Virginia Trauma Center in nearby Charlottesville.
And that was definitely a tough time, watching the helicopter go across the mountain into the horizon over to Charlottesville, knowing that your baby's in that helicopter and you're not, you know.
We had a lot of concerns. On the way to UVA, I made like 3 phone calls to 3 preachers and kind of told them to pray for us.
I really expected to take her over to UVA and be home in a day or 2.
At the hospital, they learned Reagan had suffered head trauma and was in critical condition.
In addition to her severe brain injury, she also had a fracture of her lower left leg, and she had a fracture of her right orbit, so around her right eye. It was very severe. Her injuries were life-threatening. She could have died in the short term, in the acute process.
She was laying there with every tube in the world hooked up to her, and they did drill into her skull to check the cranial pressure. Looking at your child lay there is definitely hard. It's very hard.
You just couldn't believe it. I mean, you just kind of confused and didn't know what to think.
The brain injury resulted in swelling of her brain, which progressed rapidly over the first 48 hours.
What would have eventually happened is her brain would have seeped out of her ears, and then she would have died. But I just said, God, you can't take her yet. Please don't take her yet.
They actually eventually had to remove both of her frontal bones in order to allow her brain to have room to swell so that further damage would not occur.
The Bowmans reached out to their community for prayer.
Kids went to the community Christian school.
And the very next day after the accident, they all got around the gym and held hands in a big circle and prayed for her.
Friends came over and had prayer with us. She came through her surgery just fine, no complications, but we will not know any effects of her accident until she wakes up from her induced coma.